Hello students, today let us see about De Moivre's theorem. This is a very important theorem. Now here the statement is for any complex number cos theta plus I sin theta which is in polar form, and for any integer n, not only for integers, it may be explained for rational numbers or negative numbers, whatever be the number. Okay. Now here we can write the result cos theta plus I sin theta whole power n. We are raising to the power n for the given complex number which is in polar form, which is equal to cos n theta plus I sin n theta. That is, if any complex number is in the polar form and if I want to raise to the power n means it is equivalent to multiplying the argument theta with its power, with its index. This cos n theta plus I sin n theta, multiplying n with these two arguments. This is what De Moivre's theorem. Now based on this we have some more results, that is called corollary, means sub theorems. Okay, the results based on the given statement are called what corollary. Now the first one is cos theta plus I sin theta whole power minus n. Whole power minus n. Cos theta plus I sin theta whole power minus n is equal to cos n theta minus I sin n theta, we can say. Because if you multiply this minus n, cos of minus n theta becomes plus cos n theta, and cos of sin of minus n theta becomes minus sin n theta. Now here cos theta minus I sin theta whole power n is nothing but cos n theta minus I sin n theta. Next one, cos theta minus I sin n theta whole power minus n is equal to cos n theta plus I sin n theta. Now look at these four results. See, this you can easily remember. If sin of this and this both are same, you can get to plus. Here plus, plus, you are getting plus. Here minus, minus. Both are same sign means we can get only positive term. Whereas look at these two things. See here, one is plus, other is minus. One is plus, other is minus means you can get a negative sign for this imaginary unit. Okay. Therefore, both are same sign, you can get positive term. Both are negative. Sorry, one is negative, one is what positive means you have to get a negative sign here for the imaginary unit. Okay, that's now. Whenever you have what raising to the power n for the complex number which is in the polar form means you can write like this. But polar form, what is the standard polar form? Always the real part must be cos, imaginary part must be sin. Look at this one, sin theta plus I cos theta, sin theta plus I cos theta means now it is not in the polar form. Therefore, I want to bring this into polar form means this you have to take I outside. While taking I outside, you can get I cos theta. Then you are getting sin theta by I. That is 1 by A. 1 by A is nothing but minus I. Already we have proved. Therefore, I into you take I commonly outside. Then interchange these two parts and change the sign of this one. That is I into cos theta minus I sin theta. Now here we are raising to the power n. Now we have sin theta plus I cos theta means it is not in the polar form. Therefore, you cannot apply directly this De Moivre's theorem. For that, first of all, you have to rewrite this into which form? Polar form. Here, therefore, I power n is there. Here I, there is no power, therefore you cannot I power 1. Here power n is means I power n into, you can write interchange these two, cos theta minus I sin theta whole power n you can write. After that only you can apply the De Moivre's theorem. We can multiply these two arguments by this power. That is I power n into cos n theta minus I sin n theta. These are very important things. If you know this concept, you can easily prove some results in the complex number. We will see example 2.28. If z is equal to cos theta plus I sin theta, then show that z power n plus 1 by z power n is equal to 2 cos n theta, and z power n minus 1 by z power n is equal to 2I sin n theta. Now here z power n, z is this one, z power n means cos theta plus I sin theta whole power n we have to find. Therefore, here we can use De Moivre's theorem. Okay, therefore, see here given z is equal to cos theta plus I sin theta. Cos theta plus I sin theta. Now what is its modulus? Modulus of z is equal to root of real part square plus imaginary part square. That is root of cos square theta plus sin square theta, which is equal to 1. Modulus z equal to 1. Why I am saying means if modulus z is equal to 1, here based on this one we can write if modulus z is equal to 1, then 1 by z is nothing but z bar. If modulus z is equal to 1, want to find 1 by z, it is if you find its a conjugate. This result is very important for proving this type of problems. Therefore, here z is equal to cos theta plus I sin theta. So we need to find what is z power n. We can write z power n is equal to cos theta plus I sin theta whole power n. See here, now it is in the standard form of polar form. Therefore, we can apply De Moivre's because we are resting to any power means you can apply what De Moivre's theorem. Therefore, you can apply directly. You can get cos n theta plus I sin n theta. This is by applying De Moivre's theorem. DMT we can say De Moivre's theorem. Okay, now this is z power n we can say. After that we need to find 1 by z power n. 1 by z power n. This 1 by z power already told. See here, if modulus z is equal to 1 means 1 by z is equal to z bar. Similarly, 1 by z power n is equal to z bar whole power n also you can write. Now here it is equal to 1 by z power is it's a conjugate you can write. Therefore, you can write cos n theta minus I sin n theta. If you consider this as z, its modulus value is also equal to because cos square n theta plus sin square n theta is equal to 1. Therefore, you can directly write its conjugate to find its reciprocal. Now, you can take this as result number 1, this as result number 2. Now, we need to prove the first result means z power n plus 1 by I have to add these two. 1 plus 2 gives, we are adding these two. Add LHS z power n plus 1 by z power n is equal to, while adding cos n theta plus cos n theta, you are getting 2 times cos n theta. And these two getting cancelled by adding. Therefore, you can get z power n plus 1 by z power n is equal to 2 cos n theta. We got the result. Now we can go for the second subdivision. Means you have to subtract z power n minus z power n. You can write 1 minus 2. 1 minus 2 gives z power n minus 1 by z power n, which is equal to, by subtracting cos n theta minus cos n theta getting cancelled, this minus of minus become plus. Therefore, 2 times I sin n theta. That is 2 times I sin n theta we can say. That's all. Very fourth problem given at the page of 92. If 2 cos alpha plus x plus 1 by x and 2 cos beta is equal to y plus 1 by y, then show that these 4 results. Okay. Now in all these 4 results, mainly we need to find the value of x and y. In all these 4 subdivisions we have x and y. Therefore, first we try to find the values of x and y. Now here, what is given? Given 2 cos alpha is equal to x plus 1 by x. Okay. Now here we need to find the value of x means now we try to solve this equation. Now first of all you have to bring this equation into standard form means whatever be the equation, in the denominator you should not have variable x. Try to remove it. Therefore, multiply it by x, you can get 2 cos alpha x is equal to x square plus 1. You can write x square plus 1. Okay. Now, just you can write like this. You bring everything right hand side. You can write x square minus x square. You can take this one minus 2 cos alpha x then plus 1 equal to 0. Now methods here. Now I am going to solve by what complete square method. This is you can write x square minus 2ab plus b square we need. B means here cos square alpha need. Therefore this one I am going to write as cos square alpha plus sin square alpha. Therefore you can get x square minus 2 cos alpha into x plus this one I am writing as cos square alpha plus sin square alpha, which is equal to 0. Now after that just you consider this one. This is a complete square, a square minus 2ab plus b square form. Therefore this can be written as x minus cos alpha the whole square equal to this sin square alpha goes that side, becomes minus sin square alpha. Minus sin square alpha. Now taking a square root on both sides. Taking square root. Taking square root on both sides, we get this x minus cos alpha is equal to root of minus sin square alpha. Root of minus sin square alpha. Whenever you have what within the root a negative number, here we cannot get real roots, we can get only imaginary roots. Therefore here we can write as plus or minus I sin alpha. Whenever you have negative sign, you must get imaginary root only. Okay. Yes. Therefore root of minus sin square alpha is equal to plus or minus. For this negative we are writing I sin square alpha root sin alpha. Now left hand side we have x minus cos alpha. We need to find x only. Therefore take this cos alpha to right hand side. We can take x is equal to cos alpha plus or minus I sin alpha. Here we have, since it is a quadratic equation, we have two values for the x. One is cos alpha plus I sin alpha 1. The other value is cos alpha minus I sin alpha. For proving these type of results, it is better to take what this positive value. Therefore, let take only one value, that's enough for proving all these things. Therefore, let us take the first one, that is take let x is equal to cos alpha plus I sin alpha. X equal to cos alpha plus sin alpha. This we are assuming. This minus not necessary for proving these things. So we can now here if 2 cos alpha equal to x plus 1 by x means x equal to cos alpha plus I sin alpha. Similarly, instead of alpha we have beta. Instead of x we have y means similarly we can say y is equal to cos beta plus I sin beta. This we did not prove once again. Based on this result we can write directly. Now we got the values of x and y. Now based on these two values we can find all these four subdivisions. Now let us see the first subdivision. First subdivision means first we need to find x by y. X by x this and y is this. We can find x by y. X by y is equal to cos alpha plus I sin alpha. This is cos beta plus I sin beta. Now, whenever you want to divide one complex number by another complex number in polar form, now they are in standard form, means if while dividing we can subtract their arguments. This can be written as cos of alpha minus beta plus I sin of alpha minus beta. Before that these two must have what same sign. Plus means plus, minus means minus. Okay, it is better to always here plus, that is in the standard form. This is x by y you can take. Now after that x by y we need to find y by x. Therefore y by x is equal to y by x nothing but reciprocal of this one. See, already I told if modulus z is equal to 1. 1 by z is equal to z bar I told. 1 by z means reciprocal of z. See, modulus z equal to, we have to check. This is z. If you consider this z, what is modulus? Square root of real part square plus imaginary part square means cos square alpha minus beta plus sin square alpha minus beta means its value is 1. Cos square theta plus sin square theta equal to 1. Therefore, theta is here alpha minus beta. Therefore, its value equal to 1. If it is 1, 1 by z is nothing but z bar. This x by y is nothing but reciprocal of what x by y means. Just you can replace this I, sin of I, for its conjugate, cos of alpha minus beta minus I sin of alpha minus beta. Now you can take this as result number 1, this as result number 2. Now here what you have to do? You have to add these two things. Therefore, you can write 1 plus 2 gives. While adding, look at the left hand side, x by y plus y by x. X by y plus y by x is equal to, while adding we can write 2 times real part. These two getting cancelled. 2 times real part means 2 times cos of alpha minus beta. That is the first result we have proved. Next, xy minus 1 by xy equal to 2y into sin of alpha minus beta means first we need to find the product xy. Therefore, we can find xy is equal to cos alpha plus I sin alpha into what is y? Cos beta plus I sin beta. Now again these two complex numbers are in the polar form, that means standard form. While they are in standard form, while multiplying, we can add their arguments. That is, we can write cos of alpha plus beta plus I sin of alpha plus beta. This is xy. Now after that you have to find 1 by xy, means it's the reciprocal 1 by xy. Again, look at this complex number, its modulus value equal to 1. If there is no coefficient, you have only cos theta plus sin theta means definitely its modulus value equal to 1. If modulus equal to 1, then it's a reciprocal, but it's a conjugate. Therefore, you can write cos of alpha plus beta minus I sin of alpha plus beta. Now, you can take this as result number 3, this is result number 4. Now, whether you have to add or subtract, look at here, minus, therefore you have to subtract. Now, we can write 3 minus 4 implies xy minus 1 by xy is equal to, these two getting cancelled, this minus this means minus or minus plus 2 times. Therefore, 2 times I into sin of alpha plus beta. Sin of alpha plus. This is the required result. Okay. Now let us see the x power m by y power n minus y power n by x power n. Now we need to find these two as x power m, y power n. Here also using same thing. Okay. Now here first let us find x power m. X power m means cos alpha plus I sin alpha whole power m. Whole power m, which is equal to, we can apply De Moivre since it is in the standard form. Therefore, you can write cos m alpha plus I sin m alpha. This is x power m. Then we have to find y power n. That is, y power n is equal to, y is cos beta plus I sin beta whole power n. Again, it is also in standard form, and you bring the n inside by using De Moivre's theorem. Therefore, y power n is equal to cos n beta plus I sin n beta. Now, this is y power n. After this, we can go for this x power m by y power n, that is x power n. Therefore, this we can write as 3 and 4 we can write. It's better. Now, first we can find the x power m by y power n. Third solution. X power m by y power n is equal to, x power m is cos m alpha plus I sin m alpha by y power m is cos n alpha plus I sin n alpha. Now, see, while dividing, already I told you have to subtract their arguments if they are in this polar standard form. Now, we can write this as both are in polar form and cos of m alpha minus n alpha. Cos of m alpha minus n alpha, then plus I sin of m alpha minus n alpha. Just you have to subtract their arguments. That's enough. This is x power m by y power n. Next one is y power n by x power m. That is y power n by x power m. This is nothing but it's a reciprocal. If it's a reciprocal, we need to find means. Look at this one. It's modulus are equal to 1. Therefore, we can simply write it's a conjugate. Therefore, we can write cos of m alpha minus n alpha minus I sin of m alpha minus n alpha. You can find. Okay. After this, you can take this as result number 5 and this as result number 6. Now here we have to subtract. Therefore, you can write 5 minus 6. 5 minus 6 gives x power m by y power n minus y power n by x power m. While subtracting, these two getting cancelled. This you can get 2 times I into sin of m alpha minus n beta. That's all. That is the third result. Okay, next fourth result is x power m into y power n. You can write x power m into y power n. X power m is cos m alpha plus I sin m alpha into y power n means cos n beta plus I sin n beta. Now, while multiplying, if they are in the standard polar form, we can add their arguments, which is equal to x power m into y power n is equal to cos of m alpha plus n beta plus I sin of m alpha plus n beta. Now, this is x power n into y power n. Next, you need to find 1 by x power m into y power n. It is nothing but it's a conjugate, and also it's a modulus equal to 1 means we can write it's a conjugate. We can write a cos of m alpha plus n beta minus I sin of m alpha plus n beta. Now you can take this as result number 7, this as result number 8. Now here we have to add, therefore 7 plus 8. 7 plus 8 gives x power m into y power n plus 1 by x power m into y power n is equal to 2 times. This will be getting cancelled while adding, therefore you can get 2 times cos of m alpha plus n beta. Cos of m alpha plus n beta. Now this is the fourth result. Likewise, we can